Hello, today we will start with multiprocessor configuration. Multiprocessor configuration, actually there are different configurations in which we will study how we can use an additional processor, that is coprocessor, with our main processor. The coprocessor actually reduce the workload of main processor, and this coprocessor do the mathematical calculation to speed up the main processor. Here we have a main processor, that is 8086 processor we are using. For any multiprocessor configuration, there will be three types of multiprocessor configuration. So for any multiprocessor configuration we have to use 8086, which is our main processor, in the maximum mode. We have already discussed that uh, what is maximum mode and what is maximum mode model, what is minimum mode and what is minimum mode model. In maximum mode, the one important thing is that minimum and max pin should be at zero state, that is low state, to operate 8086 in the maximum mode model. That is the pin M and MX. This is one pin. So this pin should be at the low state to operate 8086 in the maximum model. Here we can see that this is the maximum and minimum pin. Here we have actually grounded the minimax pin. What do you mean by grounding? Grounding is actually done to insert a digital 0 into that pin. Here we have seen that this is minimum and max pin, and we have actually grounded it. Grounding means we are actually inserting 0. Inserting 0 means we are actually operating maximum mode on this processor. Here we have the command decode table for the processor, for the main processor. In multiprocessor mode, these three status pins, that is S0, S1 and S2, their states, their condition will justify the operation to be performed by the main processor on the coprocessor. For example, if we have a digital 0, that is this is digital 0, in which all the three pins, that is S0, S1 and S2, are at low state. At this state, the interrupt acknowledged by the main processor. In the next we have the condition 1, that is 001 is equals to 1. At this condition, read input output from the port will be done by the main processor. Next is 2 is 011, 2 is 010. In this mode we have write input output port. We have to do a write operation from any input output device. Then next is halt, and then we have code access, then we have memory read, then we have write memory, and the last one is the passive mode. At the passive mode we have the last state, that is 7, digital 7, that is 111, that will be equal to 7. Now we have some specific signals in the maximum mode. Whenever is processor is in maximum mode, that is whenever the minimum and max pin is at digital 0 state, that is max mode, we have to study some specific signal, what they indicate. In maximum mode, the Q status Q status means the instruction Q status. The Q status is valid during the clock cycle after which the Q operation is performed. Now for any Q operation in maximum mode, the status of QS0 and QS1 will justify which how the Q operation will be performed. This is our Q, for example, and the main function of the Q is to fetch instruction from the main memory as the other instruction is executing. Now in the maximum mode, if QS0 and QS1 at both are low state, no operation will be performed. Then no operation will be performed by, that is, instruction Q. When there is 0 1 state, that is second state, the first byte of opcode from Q will be fetched. The first byte of opcode from Q will be fetched. Then from the third condition, that is 1 0 state, at this state the whole queue will be empty. The instruction queue will be reset at this status, at this condition. And the last one is 1 1 state, subsequent byte from the queue, that is at this instruction we are actually fetching first byte opcode from queue, and from the last condition we are fetching subsequent bytes from the queue. So these condition actually occurs when we are operating in the maximum mode. Otherwise the queue operated normally. Queue usually operated normally. It actually prefetches the instruction which is going to be executed and stored in the queue, and the last instruction that is getted out from the instruction queue is executing, and the next instruction which is going to be executed is going to be fetched by the instruction queue. Now the next is we have request and grant. This is pin number 30 and 31. Now if we are using any coprocessor, for example we are using any 8087 math coprocessor, and this is our main processor. Now using pin number 30 and 31, we actually granted the bus to the 8086 processor. Actually in the multiprocessor system, both these processor, main processor and coprocessor, shares the memory shares the bus system, shares the clock, etc. of the main processor. The bus, memory and clock of the main system is shared by both 8086 processor and 8087 coprocessor. So allocation of these the allocation of bus, allocation of memory and allocation of clock is actually allocated by the main processor to the coprocessor by these two request and grant pins. Request and grant pins are used by the other local bus master, that is other coprocessor, to force the processor, main processor, to force the processor to release the local bus at the end of the processor's current bus cycle. Each pin is bidirectional. RQ and grant GT0 having higher priority than RQ, that is GT1. This pin, that is pin number 30, we have RQ GT0. This will have higher priority than the second one RQ, that is GT1. The request and grant sequence is actually allow if we are these two pins are actually used when we have more than two coprocessors are try to accessing the system bus or clock from the main processor. Then there will be a priority to whom the bus is going to be allocated, and that priority is actually be setted by these two pins by using request and grant pins. The next is lock pin. This is pin number 29 of the 8086 processor. For this lock pin actually activate if this pin is at the low state. Activate if this pin is at the low state. That is, if this pin is activated, our main processor will not allow the coprocessor to access the system bus, or will not allow the coprocessor to access our memory, will not allow the coprocessor to access the main processor's clock. This lock is actually activated when there is digital zero state, and this lock is activated by us by using lock instruction into the 8086 processor. For example, if we want to lock our processor, main processor, so that it not allow to access its system bus to other coprocessor, then we will lock our main processor. The lock output indicate that other system bus masters are not to gain control of the system bus. This lock is actually operated when we are not allowing other system bus to control the system bus of the main processor. This lock pin is activated at low state. This lock signal is activated with the clock lock prefix. This is the instruction when we have to lock our main processor. This signal is active low and flow in 3 off state and hold acknowledgement. This now we'll move towards the different configuration of multiprocessor system. This is the 8086 or 8088 based multiprocessing system. Multiprocessor system refers to the use of multiple processors that execute instructions simultaneously and communicate using mailbox and semaphores. When we are using, this is our main processor, and if we are using another processor, it can be 8087 processor or any other 8087 processor to enhance the speed of the main processor. Then we will communicate with these coprocessors simultaneously by using mailboxes and semaphores. Maximum mode of 8086 processor is designed. Now the multiprocessing is actually done when our main processor is at maximum mode. Now maximum mode is designed to implement 3 basic multiprocessor configuration. First one is coprocessor. Now multiprocessor system is actually divided. It has 3 configurations. First is coprocessor. When we are using 8086, that is NDP processor, then we are using coprocessor 8087. This is our coprocessor configuration. Then we have closely coupled configuration. In this system we dedicated the input output processor 8089, and the last one is loosely coupled. In this we have multiple bus system between the main processor and the coprocessor. Now coprocessor and loosely coupled, the first two configurations are similar. Both the CPU and the external processor in these two configurations, coprocessor and closely coupled configuration, in which we are actually using 8087 processor or using 8089 as our coprocessors. In these two configurations, we actually shares the memory, input output system, bus and bus control logic and clock generator. Actually we are using these are the main processors systems, subsystems, and these going to be shared between main processor and the coprocessor. This is all about the introduction of multiprocessor